9x9 casserole pan, fairly shallow, that we're just putting a little bit of Crisco in. You can also spray it down with olive oil or whatever you have to keep things from sticking. We had some homemade bread that from our bread machine that had been in the fridge for a bit. It was getting a little dry, a little stiff, so we decided to go ahead and use that for this casserole. So we layer the bread in. Now we're going to go ahead and crack 8 eggs. You could use a little bit more. In fact, in hindsight, I would have used a little bit more for this, but it turned out great. We put about a half a cup of water into it and then whisk it up. You can also do milk, but we happen to be out of milk at the time, so we couldn't do milk. So now you whisk it up very fine, very thoroughly, I should say. The next step is to add a little bit of flavoring to the bread. This is kosher salt, and you can be fairly liberal, but remember, you can always salt at the table. You can't take it away. And then some freshly ground black pepper. And then in a minute here, it looks like a murder's taking place. Oh, ouch. Oh, no, that's Frank's hot sauce. And I would have put more on this, but we were doing this for my daughter's friends who were over, who were sleeping in today. So this is kind of a Saturday brunch on the grill, dad style. So now we take the eggs, we pour it over the bread. Very important that you get all the bread saturated with the eggs. And again, because this bread's a little dry, so we want to make sure that it gets very moist. And we're going to set that aside while we go start the coals. We want this to set aside for about a half an hour to let the bread really absorb the eggs, and then when it cooks, it's going to kind of puff up and be really kind of neat. Of course, as we continue to add flavor, we're adding roughly 4 to 5 slices of cooked bacon over the top. You want to position them so every bite gets your little bacon, and then we're going to add a little bit of cheese to this. Now you're going to say, hey Dave, that's a lot of bread and a lot of eggs and a lot of bacon, and that's not much cheese. Well, remember, we're layering flavors. So now out to the charcoal, where we've got our briquettes going. I did lump charcoal and briquettes. So we load it on one half of the grill, and then we put the casserole on the half that does not have heat directly under it. This is the indirect grilling method. Put the lid, come back out. Roughly 10 minutes later, it's bubbling nicely, and we're going to spin it around because you want to kind of make sure that each side has that exposure to the hotter part of the grill, just so it cooks evenly. Another 10 minutes, come back out. You can touch it, and it's kind of spongy and a little bit firm. You're probably pretty close to being done, or you are close to being done. And here's where I layer on some more of that beautiful, sharp cheddar cheese. So we're going to make sure that every bite gets a gooey, ooey bite of cheese, bacon, puffed up bread and egg, and the Frank's hot sauce. It's delicious. So now it's done. We put the lid back on to melt the cheese, bring it inside, and then we put aluminum foil over it. Go wake up the girls. And now it's time. As you cut into this, the thing that I noticed is it's like bringing the indoors inside for a brunch, or the outdoors inside for a brunch. It had a great smoky flavor. You can also do this on your gas grill or even in the oven. But if you have time on a Saturday to make something special for your family, give this a try. They will love it. Thanks for stopping by.